Angela Merkel has labeled Donald Trump's use of Twitter to withdraw from a G7 communiqué on trade sobering and a bit depressing. The German Chancellor used an interview with Arte to confirm the EU would press ahead with retaliatory measures after the US imposed tariffs on steel and aluminium imports. It has been a day when tensions, exposed in several photos released during the G7 summit, were vocalized publicly by several of those present at the summit in Charlevoix, Canada. The communiqué was supposed to illustrate shared ground between the US, Germany, the UK, Canada, France, Italy and Japan following Mr. Trump's imposition of tariffs. But unity was torn apart when the US president took exception to Canadian PM Justin Trudeau calling his policy insulting. 022 video, Trump and Macron share very firm handshake, tweeting from Air Force One as he flew to Singapore for his summit with Kim Jong-un, the president wrote based on Justin's false statements at his news conference, and the fact that Canada is charging massive tariffs to our U.S. farmers, workers and companies. I have instructed our U.S. reps not to endorse the communiqué as we look at tariffs on automobiles flooding the U.S. market. PM Justin Trudeau of Canada acted so meek and mild during our G7 meetings only to give a news conference after I left saying that U.S. tariffs were kind of insulting, and he will not be pushed around. Very dishonest. Our tariffs are in response to his of 270% on dairy. On Sunday, the White House ratcheted up tensions by claiming Canada stabbed us in the back. Presidential advisor Peter Navarro even suggested there was a special place in hell for Mr. Trudeau. 030 video, Trump advisor, place in hell for Trudeau. Germany and France both issued robust responses to Mr. Trump's decision to order U.S. officials not to endorse the G7 communiqué. German Foreign Minister Heiko Maas posted on Twitter, "You can destroy an incredible amount of trust very quickly in a tweet. That makes it all the more important that Europe stands together and defends its interests even more offensively." French President Emmanuel Macron's office issuing a statement that warned, international cooperation cannot be dictated by fits of anger and throwaway remarks. Image, Donald Trump pushed the blame onto Justin Trudeau. It added, "We spend 2 days working out a joint statement and commitments. We are sticking to them, and whoever reneges on them is showing incoherence and inconsistency. Let's be serious and worthy of our people. We make commitments and keep them." The response from Mr. Macron suggests an end to what observers had noted was a budding romance between the French president and Mr. Trump. Last year, the U.S. president was wowed by a French military parade in Paris after being invited to join Mr. Macron for his country's annual Bastille Day celebrations. In return, Mr. Trump made the French president his guest at his first White House state dinner, after which the U.S. president said of his visitor, "I like him a lot." 033 video, Trump doesn't name May among top allies at the summit, of which the build-up to had been dominated by Mr. Trump's decision to slap tariffs on steel and aluminium imports from Canada, Mexico and the EU. The world leaders had agreed a statement that read, "We acknowledge that free, fair and mutually beneficial trade and investment, while creating reciprocal benefits, are key engines for growth and job creation." In response to Mr. Trump's decision to withhold U.S. support for the summit conclusions, a senior UK government source said, "We stand by the commitments made in the G7 communiqué. Germany and France are also standing by the jointly agreed communiqué." Mr. Trump had already threatened to divide the G7 when he suggested Russia should be allowed to rejoin the group. Russia was expelled following Vladimir Putin's annexation of Crimea in 2014, which Mr. Trump characterized as "something happened a while ago."